Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Texans Pro with Drew. Today, we're going to go over kind of the recap of the 53 cut down. We had not a lot of surprises, but definitely some big surprises. Clearly, like Noah Brown, Case Keenum to IR, Christian Harris to IR, some other moves like that. And then we're going to go over kind of some film of some guys that made the roster that, maybe were some surprises coming into camp. British Brooks, big example. Nobody thought he was going to make this team. Um, I think that's pretty much what we're going to go over today. And then maybe we'll mix in some predictions for Indy. We can get into that maybe a little bit, but I think we'll save that for maybe next week. You ready, Drew?
I just want to say a big thank you to Andrew Beck for everything that he did, not only for the Texans, but for me. He's one of the coolest fullbacks in the entire football league. And he scored a touchdown on a kickoff return.
That was
Not
pretty
many
awesome. Yeah.
fullbacks in the league can say that. But I'm excited for British Brooks. Really, really excited for British Brooks. Um, I guess, today is Wednesday. The Texans practiced on Wednesday. And British
Yep.
Brooks was practicing with the Texans fullback, which would be their fullback, which he was originally only practicing with running back. So like he's officially the team's fullback, and he's gonna line up at tight end. He's gonna line up at fullback, and he's gonna be a split back in the backfield too. So that's exciting. I really like fullbacks. I really think that they should be utilized more in the NFL because it's just especially when you have an athletic guy. So I can't deny everyone knows British Brooks is more athletic than Andrew Beck.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just true. He's younger, he's more athletic. There's just so much more now that the Texans can do offensively. And you didn't think Andrew Beck was a physical blocker, which I agree, he's more of a zone blocker. And British Brooks is a physical blocker.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
then
be
and then
fun.
obviously you could mix in some Stover at fullback as well. You could get Brevin in there. Brevin's the type of guy too, where like maybe not the best blocking fullback, but if you're talking athleticism, you get him in the backfield, that's a weapon. So
It's gonna be fun.
um
I'm excited.
you just open up more options. And not that I was, I dislike Andrew Beck or anything. I thought the kick return was awesome. Like there were certain things that he did that were a lot of fun, but just overall, like with how loaded the roster was, I felt like they were better off just keeping British Brooks, who can also play running back if he has to play running back. So there's just more versatility now, which is why I think they kept him. But let's go ahead and get into that. So I guess we'll just go position by position and see, if there's any real surprises. Start with quarterback. I'm thrilled they only kept two. I know Keenum's on IR, but I know in our predictions you kept three, I kept two. So I'm super glad they kept two. Keenum, it's nice to have Keenum still in the building, is how I feel now with what they did.
So nice for him to just be on injured reserve because I guess someone was like, "Oh, he's on injured reserve because he it's his 10th year in the NFL. Like he's
Yeah,
not actually like hurt that badly, but he's just like on IR.
I think
So
that's what's going
he's
on
gonna
here. To
do
be honest
that,
with you,
and then he's gonna be a coach
a
next year for
coach.
us.
Yeah,
So it's really
that's
cool.
really
Love
what
to
it
see
feels
it.
like. It is. That's really what it feels like. This
It
whole
has to
situation
be. He's
is.
not hurt that badly. Like, come
No, I
on.
don't think so. I don't think so.
He
Uh,
played.
because it was confusing because they talked about it like going into the week. They're like, we got a competition for the third quarterback spot. If they would have known, if they knew Keenan was out for the whole year, they wouldn't have made it seem like
Yeah.
that. So
He didn't get hurt in the
no,
game. I mean, maybe he hurt himself when he threw that duck to Mechie. I don't know. But, it's
but
nice to
yeah,
have Case Keenum. And then we were just talking about it off recording that Tim Boyle is not good enough
no.
to be a QB3 in the NFL, unfortunately.
I'm shocked that he even got signed somewhere else, to be honest with you. But
And
um,
that happens. He has a starter experience technically with the Packers. So
but no, I mean, we'll see. I think the Texans will probably sign a third quarterback to practice squad if they need it. But I just like the fact that, like, really, the only time where you need a third quarterback on the roster is if both of your quarterbacks get hurt in the same game, which feels like if that happens, you're not going to win the football game anyways. So really, like, it feels like a wasted spot to me, unless you have like a third quarterback like Joe Milton, where you want to develop a certain guy, like then I could get it. But the Texans don't need to waste a roster spot on Tim Boyle or Case Keenum. It was pointless, and you get to use that roster spot in an extra spot like receiver, which we'll get to, where they kept Steven Sims just to be a returner pretty much. But I'd much rather have that than Tim Boyle as quarterback three on a roster.
that's fair.
All right, you want to get us started with running back?
Obviously, Joe Mixon, Akers. We'll call Akers the running back two for now. I think that's fair. Damian Pierce, Dare Ungabawale. He's going to be our running back. He's going to be our gunner
Special teams
on the
ace, yeah.
punts. and he's also going to be our backup kicker. So as long as I'm able to, we were talking about it last time that it'd be great if Damian Pierce was just all those roles too, because you would free up a roster spot. He's talked about how he could free up a roster spot with the long snapper and whatever. And then I got a lot of hate on Twitter for saying that,
I do
you
too.
need to respect John Weeks and all of that. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then our running back, I guess British Brooks could be considered the fifth running back. He's also a fullback tight end
Yeah.
too. So I really like this.
I do
Um,
too.
yeah, I think that you can do more British Brooks than you can with Andrew Beck. Because look,
And
Andrew Beck
Harrison.
lined up as
Harrison,
a
you
tight
can't.
end.
Yeah.
He was our tight end three at times, but now we have Cade Stover.
Over. Yeah.
So I'm totally fine with that too.
And if you're
I
able,
want Cade Stover to play because Cade Stover didn't play that much football in his entire life as you think he did.
oh yeah.
So he just needs to play. We saw him have some nice routes in the Hall of Fame game, and he didn't really do that at Ohio State. So he just needed to play. And I'm liking the scene from Cade Stover so far. Still don't like the pick. But I think that that's the move if you develop him. And he's with CJ Stroud. So there's a ton to like with the running back room and the tight end room. And so and obviously so three tight ends are Schultz, Brevin Jordan, Cade Stover.
Yep. And to me, with at least for me, if Teagan is healthy, I'd rather have him on the roster than like a back or like have him play some fullback. Like I know he didn't make the team, and I think he's hurt, but I actually like Teagan when he's healthy. So as a guy like to come up from practice squad to play some fullback, like perfect because I think he's a better
This
blocker
to
than
me, he's
Beck.
not just a
I think he's
blocker,
pretty
really,
athletic.
honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he can catch out of the backfield. He's a perfect fullback if he's able to stay healthy. He just hasn't stayed healthy his whole career, which sucks.
I don't know if he's on short-term IR or long-term
I don't even think
IR.
they put him on IR. They just cut him, I think. But then,
Injury settlement, something like that.
yeah, they'll probably
He might
cut him and
be
then try to
reverted
bring
back
him
to the
back.
practice squad at
Yeah,
some point.
I think
So
that's what they did
that's
with
going to be nice.
Jawar. So Jawar
So,
should be
and
back
for
on practice squad
example,
too.
like he'll just potentially be brought up as your tight end three easily if Cade Stover gets hurt and then Jordan gets hurt
Yeah,
or when Schultz get hurt. So
because
it's a really
Teagan's
simple
done.
guy, but he's gonna play at some point this season. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
true.
mean Teagan's done a pretty good job when he's been healthy, like his whole career. He's done. He was good his rookie year. He was good his second year. He just hasn't stayed on the field. That's the big problem with him. All right, I'll move on to receiver. Probably the most controversial room, which was pretty obviously going to be the most controversial room because there were so many guys. Uh, they kept seven. I think we talked about that actually like 2 weeks ago that we thought they were going to keep seven. Not the seven I thought they were going to keep, but they did end up keeping seven. So obviously you got the top three. You got Diggs, Tank, Nico, and then I would assume Mechie's your receiver four now with Woods, Hutchinson, Sims behind him. Sims, I don't really view as a receiver. I think he can play a little bit, but I think he's more so there for just return reasons. And keeping Woods over Brown was like the most controversial move to me. I don't really get it. Um, but I'm not gonna lose it over the decision. I just
At the
didn't
end of the
expect it.
day, it won't matter. It
Yeah,
literally won't matter. But how can you be that concerned about someone's short-term injury when he's the wide receiver six?
yeah,
He was going to
and
play 10 snaps a game at most, and you're tripping about that. I'm telling you, he could have easily stepped into an outside receiver role if Nico Collins or Tank Dell or Diggs gets hurt. I'm not sure Mechie or Hutch can step into that type of role. But Noah Brown can absolutely step into that role. No, I still love the skill set of Mechie and Hutchinson. And I'm sure if one of the top three guys were to get hurt, they'd have a great game plan to utilize their skills. But like as like a shadow kind of guy to fill in, Noah Brown fits that role a lot more than Robert
no.
Woods. So there had to
When
be some.
we saw it last year when Nico went down, Noah Brown was like consistently really good on the outside. So,
Yeah, he
um,
for some reason doesn't want to separate too much from the slot with like those short routes. But he's just a really good deep to intermediate route runner. It's really quite impressive. For Noah Brown, just hate that Robert Woods is not because thinking about like Robert Woods, like Hutchinson is a good blocker. Mechie definitely can block. We've seen some clips of that. And Woods is
yeah,
known for blocking, reliability. Hutchinson seems to be very reliable. So, and Mechie is a better athlete. So, like, there's just, like, it's, I'm not really
Woodson
sure you need that.
Woodson Hutchinson feels like almost like a double kill. Like it feels like you have two of the same guys in the receiver room with those two guys. They feel like very similar players.
A little bit, but it's just like, and then if you want to say, oh, he's the veteran leader, why does he have
Yeah,
to
why
be the
does
veteran
receiver
leader?
room? Yeah, why does this at this point? Why does the receiver room need a veteran leader? They don't need it.
You
They
have
have maybe the
Stephon
best receiver
Diggs,
room in the league. Yeah, they don't
and
need
then you
a
also have a
veteran
bunch of
leader.
chemistry with all the other guys because they've all been there. It's the same guys except
Yeah,
for Stephon Diggs
they don't need
and
a veteran
CJ
leader.
Stroud and Bobby Slowick and McDaniels and as the wide receiver coach. Like God, that just the veteran leadership stuff really irks me because that's just not necessary.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I was not a fan of the Texans keeping Woods over Brown, but again, like we talked about, not really something that's going to make a big difference. Like it's not, that's the nice part about like this year is the fact that we can make moves like that, and it's kind of like we're just grasping it like straws. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
At least
But
like Mechie and Hutchinson. At least we didn't like trade Mechie away or
oh yeah, yeah, at least
Hutchinson.
those guys are still here. Yeah, I mean
That's all I cared about, really,
that was
honestly.
the biggest thing for me. Just keeping those guys. The younger guys, especially with how good I was not the biggest Mechie guy up until last 2 weeks of preseason. I was kind of on the fence about him, but he showed enough in those two games for me to, not want to move on from him. Make sure we keep him around for sure. All right, let's move on. We pretty much already talked about tight ends, and there's not really that much to discuss there. We kind of have known for like months that was going to be the tight end room. Let's move on to offensive line. You got any like anything with offensive line? Anything that you didn't expect? Because that's kind
Um,
of the room I expected.
yeah. There's a couple ways they could have went about this, and they just went with the versatility option,
Yeah,
really, with Nick Broker. They didn't really. Obviously, you said that Cam Irving also played guard, but Nick
yeah, I was
Broker's
between those
young,
two guys for
and
me.
he's a really quick get off. So that's always something to have too. But
He
obviously
went early like
the swing
four
tackle
times in
is
that
gonna
Hall
be
of Fame
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He went really early.
That was
But
pretty funny,
we'll
but
see what
I
happens.
actually
You never
like him.
know.
I actually like
Yeah,
Rocker, so I was cool with it. And like you
yeah,
said, the youth, because him and Irving both played guard tackle, so they just kept a younger guy. I got no problem with that.
yeah. It's not like
And I saw they kept
Charlie Heck's lengthy ass is still here. So you got some
yeah,
versatility and
because they didn't
athleticism.
even keep Heck on practice squad because the practice
He's
squad
injured or
offensive
something,
lineman,
maybe.
yeah, because I saw the practice squad like offensive line they kept Sharp, who I actually like. David Sharp's a pretty good swing tackle. Here he like at least looked good in preseason when he was healthy, and then they kept Cam Irving on practice squad too. So they have plenty of offensive line depth.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll see a little bit of Blake Fisher as a swing tackle. And
Yeah,
maybe have like some
he should be your
unbalanced
swing
stats.
tackle.
You could really utilize. I don't love his athleticism, but you could utilize him as like a sixth offensive lineman too. I think
Yeah,
that's always
yeah.
possible because he's really young, so he has not reached his potential at all.
No, no, yeah.
So
Fisher's the third tackle on his team for sure.
absolutely.
Um, okay, defensive line. I don't really. I'm not surprised with who they kept. I'm kind of more surprised with like them not keeping an extra one. Thought they were going to keep nine. But how do you feel about defensive line?
Was like a little surprised when like Tim Settle was cut. I mean, he really practiced, didn't play. So it was a
I
little
did see he's back
off-putting.
at practice today.
Tim
So
Settle when we signed him. So when I went into his film review, I was like, oh, he's got a little bit of both to him. He can offer you some juice as a pass rusher, but he's primarily going to be a run stopper.
mhm.
But obviously, I think that when Kurt Hinish comes back, he's on short-term IR. I think that they're just going to release Tim Settle. I think that they liked Kurt Hinish enough to not release him with an injury settlement, but put him on short-term IR.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
put Noah Brown on short-term IR, so
Yeah,
that
could
goes to
have. Yeah,
show that they
they
like
like
Kurt Hinish
Heinisch.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I did see Settle's back at practice, so at least he's healthy. Because that was one thing I was a little bit concerned about. At least he's a body that's going to be healthy for week one or should be healthy. But not too much to say about that room. Like I kind of expected those guys to make it. I thought they would keep Harris, but they didn't. That was the only thing that surprised me. I thought they
Yeah,
would
I
keep
mean,
Marcus Harris.
so the thing is, the Texans they're going to rotate their defensive tackles. So basically, it's going to be like Mario Edwards and maybe Khalil Davis start, and then you have
And
Foley
Solu
and
and
Tim Settle rotate in, or you could mix and match it to where you have Mario Edwards in and Tim Settle in because Mario Edwards is more of a pass rusher and Tim Settle's more of a run stopper, and then Khalil Davis and Foley. I'd like to think they're a little bit of both, but Foley might be a better run stopper, and Khalil Davis has some nasty pass rush moves too. So you can really mix and match that however you want. And obviously, Danico Autry, Kurt Hinish later in the season. So
when they get
it's
back.
going to try to keep guys fresh, really. You're not going to, I can't imagine Mario Edwards plays more than 60% of the snaps. He might be the best
No.
defensive tackle right now, Khalil Davis. Not sure how the Texans view Khalil Davis other than the fact that he made the roster and we know he's made a lot of plays last year. We really like him.
Yeah, we like him. So hopefully he plays a good amount. I'm a Khalil Davis, big Khalil Davis guy. Okay, let's get into probably one of the more interesting rooms. Let's go linebacker without Christian Harris. So how do you feel about that room?
They, I mean, I like your take about Jake Hansen on Twitter. Really, I really think that he could be the next Blake Cashman. I've always really liked his consistency. But at the same point, like Henry To'oTo'o has improved. On an interview with Aziz Al-Shaair, just saying how he kind of like instilled confidence in Henry To'oTo'o because that's what Henry To'oTo'o needs. He needs confidence. He just needed to understand the schematics a little bit more. And I think Neville Hewitt had a really good game in the preseason. I like
Yeah,
Jamal
he
Hill.
did.
Delshon Phillips isn't going to play
Yeah, he's a
um,
special teamer.
defensively, so I don't really know what to consider him. I think I would consider him just a special teamer. But he's a really good special teamer too. And
Yeah.
I think, that, of course, that was one of the players. Frank Ross said, "I want Delshon Phillips." And that's probably why Delshon Phillips is on the roster. So I'm not as concerned. People are like, oh, the names look
Yeah,
ugly
I'm not as worried
on
about
this
him
list. I'm
either.
not actually concerned by the linebacker room necessarily.
Yeah. I'm more concerned about we'll get on to it. I'm more concerned about the depth at outside corner. I'm more concerned there. If one of those guys goes down, it's just this not the room is Akuda can step up, but oh boy, if Chris Boyd has to play some outside corner, it's gonna get bad. Let's get on to that room now. So I know you were a big Desmond King guy, and they cut him again. I actually do like Miles Bryant, so I wasn't too surprised by it, but it's funny to bring the guy back and then cut him again. It feels kind of like it feels kind of wrong to do that, but they did it. So
I think that is better than Desmond. Seriously, that's what matters here.
yeah, it felt like he has done enough like when he's then on the field to stay around, and then they just like he didn't play well in preseason. They cut him, and then he comes back and plays well. It feels like that it's happened like 3 years in a row. He's been pretty good when he's here. So um
I just think it would be so nice to have the security of just having Desmond King on the roster as a backup nickel, as a backup punt returner, as a special teamer. But
yeah.
I really don't feel like Miles Bryant flashed. And to become to work your way or beat someone in the depth chart, move up, you have to flash. And I don't know, I don't really understand how Miles Bryant like surpassed Desmond King.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from there for sure. I was kind of like split. I didn't know how. I just felt like they were going to keep Bryant because they just don't seem like big Dyson King guys. So for like the coaching staff, they don't seem to like him very much. But I don't really like. I was more concerned about it last year than I am this year with Petrie playing the nickel. But um, let's see. Hopefully they add another outside corner. That's where I'm standing right now. Like Akella Witherspoon, we talked about it last time. Just go sign him.
Is he
Just
still
get
not signed after
no,
the waiver wire?
no, he's still a free agent. Like it just makes way too much sense to like cut Chris Boyd, go sign him, and then I feel so much better about the corner room.
Understand like if you just want to prioritize special teams and just say, okay, well, Jeff Okuda is our backup corner. We'll see what happens. But if you're a corner and you need to start because someone got hurt, I'd rather you already be playing football for a football team
Yeah,
instead of like
yeah,
just being off the streets. So rough,
yeah,
pretty rough because I mean, Phil Witherspoon was practice football in quite a few months too. So I mean, geez,
yeah,
this gets a little dicey. I mean, if you like Chris Boyd, they clearly like Chris Boyd. He just kind of he was one of the players. I would say him and British Brooks really truly worked their way onto the football team.
yeah. No, and I didn't think Boyd was as bad as some people thought he was. It was really Mike Ford that was just getting picked on all of preseason. Like Boyd was decent.
He's not an outside corner.
Yeah,
It's not Mike Ford's fault.
I was surprised that they kept him over D'Angelo Ross. We talked about that. I thought D'Angelo Ross was going to make it, but
Is he not? I guess he's not on the practice squad right now.
not yet, at least.
I thought he
They'll
was
probably
one
try to
of
bring him
Ross's
back.
guys, honestly.
Yeah, but let's see. What positions do we have to talk about now? That might be it, is it? I think that's pretty much the whole roster.
Long snapper.
Yeah, we can get into our John Weeks debate. Okay, I gotta just say I saw the talk that will happen with you when you posted about it. The fact that people are calling John Weeks a Texans legend is disrespectful to the Texans franchise. We shouldn't do that. Calling a long snapper a legend should not happen.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, what were we supposed to do? Were we supposed to upgrade? Were we supposed to upgrade a long snapper? No,
no,
just keep him on the team. He's been here. He knows how to get into the door. He knows the code. So I don't know why do teams draft long snappers? Because their long snappers
it's so
old?
stupid. Yeah, I was actually looking through like different long snapper stuff when we were talking about this, and I saw so. I don't remember what team it was. I think it was like Carolina, but they apparently picked a long snapper over like Trey Smith when they needed offensive line, and now he's like a Pro Bowl guard, and then the long snapper's out of the league. So I don't know why you'd ever draft a long snapper. That's so stupid. But not too much else to talk about with roster. So who do you want to start with going over film? You want to go over Brooks?
I think we should go over British books first.
British Brooks got you. Let's go. I don't know where the actual play is in the game, but I know Seth Payne posted that clip of him blocking. So let's go
Let's
ahead
do
and find
that.
that. And then we can also go over some of his running back film too, because there are some things that you want to see in that can translate. Okay, one second.
But if you can just like watch how a player moves with the ball in his hand, that's
Yeah,
really just
exactly.
important. Like
His quality kind of sucks. Let me go find this play. Who's
use
this carry?
British Brooks in like the RPO game. You could
Is
line
that
him up a tight
is that
end, put him in the
Taylor?
flats. So could be
I think
interesting.
that's Taylor. Give me one second. I'm gonna try to find some of these plays where he was. This is why they need to just add preseason to NFL Pro, because then I would just look up what plays he was involved in and I could find him. But they don't
It's
want to add
true.
it for
You can
preseason.
do it by player in NFL Pro. That would be nice.
I know. Yeah, I wish you could do that for. I wish they'd have it for preseason, but they want to be stingy about it, I guess. There we go. Let me go ahead and find this play.
It is always cool to see an undrafted free agent like the roster on like an insanely stacked team.
Yeah, on a really good team. Yeah.
It's
And it felt
cool.
like we haven't been that unused to it because we've had such a bad roster. But now that we have a pretty decent roster, it's like it becomes really rare. Like you even see draft picks getting cut. So
Yesterday was pretty eye opening. Like Lewis Steen, today Byron Young from Alabama. Today was the
let's
third
see, is
round
this
pick
that
last
play?
year.
No, no. I gotta try to
Panthers
find some of
traded for
these.
Malik Willis when they drafted Sean Clifford with a fifth round pick.
Yeah, I actually would have given up that for Willis. I don't know if we talked about that, but
Nothing. No, but we would want Willis on like the practice squad, I
yeah,
guess, because clearly the Texans prioritize a lot of special teamers on their roster.
maybe it's this one. Let's see. Trying to find this play with British Brooks. Here it is. Okay.
It's the block.
Yep. Okay, let me share my screen. It's going to be tough to find close to this, so we may just have to go through some and just see where he lines up, or we can, like I said, we can just go through his runs. but I saw this one get posted.
So 2 touchdowns against the Giants.
He did, yeah.
Not very like crazy points, but like whatever.
The
Playmakers
second run
game.
was pretty impressive. He runs the ball pretty well when he's actually running back too. So here he is. He's 44. By the way, this is like his first week playing fullback. He had never done it before. So, um, like legit, the first time I'd ever seen him play fullback was at the joint practice, which was Thursday. So he even talked about it. He's never really played fullback, but just, I mean, big boy. And he just,
He's five. I think it was 5'10". Yeah, Seth Payne said he was like 5'10". So he
yeah,
is going to have natural pad level most of the time. But the big thing is that guy is 320 pounds and British Brooks is 240 pounds.
yeah.
So you have to really just explode. You have to build up that power. I really like his feet there. I mean, he just kind of chops and
He
bursts.
has very good feet, not just when he's blocking, but we'll go through it when he runs too. He has great feet just
You
overall.
can
His
you can
footwork
kind of
is
already
very sound.
tell that he's not gonna really waste any movement as a runner. He takes a really nice angle at that block too. It's a, he's
Look at
supposed to
his
block
reaction
that
to
guy
it. He
on the
loved it.
play.
He loves it.
They released that defensive lineman right to British Brooks. I don't think that it's whoever it is.
Okay, let's see if did he get any carries in this game? I don't know if he did actually.
Um, I don't know through his stats.
I don't think so. From what I remember, I don't think he got any carries here.
The UNC thing, like,
Oh, he did get a couple. So here, this is a run from him. Let's go through some runs from British Brooks. The beam of death in
he
the middle of the field.
had 20, he had 5 carries and 25 yards. I don't
This is
remember how to
pretty.
turn the game off.
You just like to see in this type of run though. You like to just see his feet keep moving, pick up some extra yards, like the physicality to just keep pushing forward. Gets you six instead of four. Good vision too.
It's a nice cut. I mean, obviously it's wide zone. So it's gonna be a little challenging to cut that inside. And it's a good shed. It was a great shed. Defensive lineman. You could have gotten a lot more yards. It wasn't for that.
And then he gets another carry this next play. Let's see. That's a good
Looks like a
play. I
running
mean,
back. He really
yeah,
has. He's made to be a running back, but he can also play fullback. That's a luxury. And
for
obviously,
sure.
if anything, he might be our pass protector out there downs now. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
really
that's
seen
true.
him as a pass protector yet, but
But I would think he could do it.
I think so.
This is a good play from this defensive tackle. Like it's pretty good. I mean, he just gets off two blocks and just
The Texans run blocking this preseason was really bad. That's why Cam Akers' best throws were him doing it by himself, using
yeah,
his vision and cutting and going for 20 yards. The Texans' run blocking was really poor this preseason, which gets me a little concerned for the season because they couldn't run the ball in the
yeah.
regular season last year.
Well, speaking of Cam Akers, since we're here, let's go through probably his
Mhm.
best run. Maybe this was actually blocked pretty well. This is one of his only runs that was blocked well. It felt like
Yeah.
it's out, lowers his shoulder on that guy. Yeah, it's so funny because he moves like in slow motion. I think we talked about this, but he moves like he does not move very quickly, but it's very smooth the way he moves the ball.
One of the things that I
Hey,
looked
British
at,
Brooks back in.
he was like scouting Roma Dunze. He's just one of those players that is so precise. And
Yeah,
it's Cam Akers kind of, and it's Cam Akers was in his really good season for the Rams. Wasn't really explosive. He just so
yeah.
efficient.
Here, we get another British Brooks at fullback run.
So,
I mean, he does a pretty good
good
job
contact.
actually. Yeah, he does his job. It's not his fault.
Now, yeah, he wasn't really met. It doesn't matter what he really did there. You know, is 90 whatever number going to make his make the play there? No.
Yeah.
But it's just another reason why you don't necessarily need Andrew Beck on the field. And this is a type of player where you would see Andrew Beck do something too. You see British Brooks go up for a route, but British Brooks, I think
Let's
if you
go.
get him the ball in the flats, you might get a little bit more yards than Andrew Beck. So it's just, if we're talking about maximizing the offense, I think that's what you do.
Well,
Actually,
you
look,
almost have two in a
yeah,
way. You almost,
that's called like spot lead swing. So
yeah.
basically, you can throw it to Akers, but you
And
have
then
a
he
lead
becomes a lead
blocker on a
blocker.
swing
Yeah.
route. I love
Yeah.
that play actually. Of course, he throws to is that an out route or is it an out route?
Wow. Yeah.
So you think about it like this: you could have like Diggs or Nico Collins on an ISO out route, Schultz running a spacer, Diggs running a spacer, spacing route, and then you have
Another positive at the top.
Mixon out there on a lead swing. So we're running fun plays like that, really maximizing your players' strengths like that in preseason. And most of the time, you
Definitely
don't
good
see
to
stuff like
see.
this in preseason, but they were clearly ready to add British Brooks to the roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is-
More. Oh, this is a Troy Hairston touchdown. Troy Hairston touchdown. Every time I see him catch a football, I think about that one play against Cleveland and
Yep.
Watson's return game where he just got absolutely like he just got killed. That's the only thing I can think of when I see him go catch a
He also
football.
had
But
quite a few drops. I remember
yeah,
him
he's
having
not.
like
He can't catch
seconds.
the ball. That's why he didn't make it. I mean, he just can't catch the ball. He's back on practice squad. I saw though, which I mean, I'm cool with that. Um, let's see. Since we talked about it, I let's just go ahead and go to that Case Keenum throw where he just completely misses Mechie to just show everyone how open he is. Because I mean, I
Just
guess
kind of a bad coverage, I'd say.
yeah, it's not a great route or anything, but like you got to get this ball here. You got to throw this ball.
He
There's no
sees
way
him.
this ball.
Sees him. He's not like,
Yeah,
oh shoot, Mekhi's open. Well, no, he knows he's open.
and he's not even. It's so weird. He's not even hit or anything. Like maybe on the other arm, but like, how is the throw so bad? I don't know. See, okay, at least with Tim Boyle, the ball's going to go here, or it's either going to be a completion or the ball's going to be 15 yards over his head. I'd rather it be overthrown than underthrown.
I don't even have to say that.
If
Actually, would have had 100 receiving yards in a preseason if
Oh
this ball
yeah,
was complete.
Mechie had a pretty good game, I thought too. I mean that one, he
Yeah,
caught the ball on the sideline, turned up field. That was good to see. He
this
hadn't
guy's
really shown off
special.
some good run after catch, so it was nice to see that. I think it was actually this play.
This is exactly how you can use Frenchie as a receiver. You can also use him as a gadget guy because he has that elusiveness in his game. I love the patience when he stacks them too. He's not
Yeah,
giving up where he's going either, and then he's really clean feet to break it out.
look at the sideline. I always like watching the sideline when Mechie catches a ball too, because everyone loves it.
Yeah.
But I can't tell who is that, but he's loving it on the sideline. It was who is that? Is that Akers? I think it's Akers. He's loving it. There's Tank. But no, they just like they all seem to love John Mechie. So he's sticking around. I think he pretty easily could be the fourth receiver on this team this year. So now, especially without Noah Brown now. So
Yeah, I just
let's
think a bigger. Well, I mean, Hutchinson's got good size. So
yeah.
I mean, look, if you're molding Hutchinson to be what Noah Brown was, it's great. He's cheaper. He's younger. He's got upside because he already has other skills. I'm totally fine with
Let's see. I wanted to see. We can go by. I want to see. Last week, or at least the Giants game, Mechie took almost like 70% of his snaps from the slot. So I kind of want to see where they play him this week. Let's see.
Yeah, but the only thing this season is like we don't have a backup slot because Nico can play in the slot, Tank can play in the slot, Diggs can play in the slot, Hutchinson can play in the slot, Mechie can play in the
Yeah,
slot.
they all can do it.
Woods
They all
is
can do it.
literally a slot receiver. So.
So yeah, so he took literally 85% of his snaps in the slot. So more than likely when he gets snaps, it's going to be in the slot. Uh,
The good thing for
but
the future is that we know Tank Dell can play on the outside. So if
yeah,
our wide receiver room in the future is Nico Collins, um, Tank Dell, and Mechie, you're just going to really see Mechie primarily in the slot. But I wouldn't be terrified of putting John Mechie on the outside, especially
no, I wouldn't either.
get him a free release or it's going to be against man coverage. That's really all that little things like that is what matters. That's how players separate half the time.
Here you go. You got your British Brooks pass blocking grade
Yep.
72,
Yeah, there you go. Pass
pass
block.
pro, pass pro. See, let's see. Let's check out last week. How did he pass pro last week?
Let's see.
Let's see. He didn't even take a. Did he not take a rep? Yes, he did.
No, there's
All
no.
right.
There's
Let's go
he was
back
good
to
in
the film.
that.
PFF is a great tool to have. People hate on it, but it's nice to have for certain things. I like PFF. I've been um
Just steer
let's
clear of
see.
coverage grades.
Yeah,
Coverage
coverage grades are
grades.
stupid.
Remember
They're bad.
Stingley's rookie year when we were playing Tampa 2 every snap?
Yeah, their
That's not his
coverage grades
fault.
are not great. Yeah. I mean, I was upset Troy Pride got cut. I forgot about that. That sucks. I
Yeah,
liked
he
him.
was already on the roster. He was already in football shape. He would have been a nice. And again, we're not talking about starting corner. Like what me and Jacob were saying on Monday was not that we want Troy Pride to be on the field at all
Yeah.
times. We want him to be the cornerback four behind Akuda, not
Yeah.
behind or next to Stingley.
No.
So
No, clearly all season if the top two corners stay healthy, they're going to be on the field. Like Lassiter and Stingley are your starting corners, but
yeah, they're not gonna. They shouldn't be going to get sips of Gatorade either. They're gonna be on the
no,
field for every snap.
no,
So
corners don't come off the field very
yeah.
often.
So I don't know why people trip so much about stuff like that,
For
especially when
some
Troy
reason, a
Pride.
lot of people have problems with like when you discuss like cornerback fours. Like it doesn't matter. Well, it's like if we're talking about a 53 cut down, there's no spots where we're competing for starting jobs. So we should talk about depth positions. And we know
Yeah,
where our starters are at every spot. So depth is
exactly.
interesting to talk
I
about.
can't think of a single spot where we didn't know the starter. Once we knew that Petrie was in the nickel, we're like, okay, we'll rotate the
I
safeties,
guess defensive
and we're set.
tackle, but I still don't really like there's
But
not
we'd
really a
rotate them,
set
so
starters. Yeah, there's not set starters there. So, um, I mean, there's not really
people
that
might
much.
complain about the defensive tackle room because they don't know these guys' names, or they don't like, or they don't watch the film, or they look at PFF a little too much. But
Yeah, even
I'm not
PFF is like
concerned.
the defensive tackles actually. So, I mean, like actually against I don't know how I don't know how the Giants game. I don't think many of them played in the Giants game, but um, or well, this is the Giants game. Not I'm thinking the other week, but like you look like where was I want to say, or maybe it was the other week where they really liked the defensive tackles because there was one week, maybe it was Pittsburgh, where the defensive tackles graded out really well. Yeah, Folu
Mhm.
76, Edwards 70. Like that's positive. That's
And
what
he
you
had
want to
like
see.
two back-to-back insane plays. So
Yeah, like
yeah,
that's just for the record because I think a lot of people don't know this. So people think 70 is bad when 70 is considered above average with the grading scale. So if you get a 69.4, that's pretty damn good. You're not like elite, but 70 is
it's like where
considered
the
above average.
yellow is,
60 is
like for
average.
like 62 is probably average because you see like that yellowish color.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the grading scale is like 50 below 60. And granted, like you want higher, obviously you would like the 70s, you like but if you're like at like a very high 60, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. That's what you want to see. So, um, we can kind of go through this. We haven't really gone through this at all in preseason, so it's kind of fun to just go through this. So
Nice to
that's what we're
recap
talking about.
it.
Neville Hewitt probably going to play. 95 run defense grade.
Play
He's
him
going to
against the
play.
Colts. Play him against
Yeah,
run. Play him against the Ravens. Play him against the Colts. I think that he can be a valuable asset for this
yeah.
team.
And you got Khalil Davis, 81, one
Yeah.
run grade. That's nice to see because he is more of a pass rushing defensive tackle to me. But if he can stop the run, he's going to play a lot. um, but not too much else to say. I think, like I said, I wish we would have kept Troy Pride. It's okay. Uh, Jalen Petrie. I mean, Derek Stingley is unbelievable. That's a takeaway from when you go through these. But not
The
too
thing
much
about
else to
Marcus
say.
Harris I'll say with Marcus Harris, unfortunately, he's like an injury away from like bursting onto the scene because the Texans will play him if the guy gets hurt. They rotate
Yeah,
defensive line. If he
yeah, he'll
does what he
play.
did in the preseason, he's gonna be the starter because I think the Texans were more so just kind of focused on developing Marcus Harris. They're fortunate to get him on practice squad. Very fortunate to still have him on practice squad because he was making plays and he put out really good film on these preseason games that making plays that not many defensive tackles can really make. So
Yeah,
really impressive for him.
and we talked about him earlier, but I think Jake Hansen could play a lot too. And he's honestly been a guy where if you look through, not you don't even have to if you don't even look through the film, you just go through PFF. Like PFF likes what he's done in his career overall, right? So you get 74 last year, I believe. I can't if I scroll down on this, but it's a 60 something. So both of his grades are positive. They've been good. Just haven't played that much. But we talked about it where like that's kind of how Blake Cashman was. He's not as athletic as Blake Cashman. So,
That's
but
absolutely.
can play and it's been pretty consistent. He had the green whatever it's called, the green dot, whatever it's called. He got the play calls in this last game. Clearly likes him. The fact that he was a UDFA that Lovey brought in and then D'Amico kept him as a linebacker says a lot about the idea that they like him. So
Absolutely.
if they go three linebackers, I mean, it'll depend. They'll rotate, I think, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Jake Hansen play a good amount with when Harris is out. Um, and we can actually go through. He didn't play that much in the Rams game, but if you want, we can kind of go through maybe some of the Giants game and see some plays that
It's
he made
important
if
to
you
just kind
want.
of look at the guys that are kind of coming onto the scene for us this season. And I like that we didn't like get desperate and trade for a guy or sign for a guy because just because just because you might not know who Jake Hansen is doesn't mean the Texans don't know who Jake Hansen is.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean the Texans have more trust in Henry To'oTo'o than you as a fan has trust in Henry To'oTo'o because you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But I'm fairly confident that this is an indication that they're totally fine with the linebacker room and defensive tackle room because they have money. They have the money to go sign a player,
yeah, they do.
trade for
Yeah.
a player, but they didn't. They didn't.
Let's see. I know he made some tackles. I just want to pull up some tackles that he made, and we can go through them because we talk about. I like him. Extra linebacker. He also has the same name as me, so doesn't hurt his cause. Like you with Andrew Beck, I got Jake Hansen.
Why wasn't Andrew
Let's
Beck then
see.
signed to a team?
I
I think
don't
the
know where did
Giants
he
need a
make?
fullback actually.
You could get him on the Giants. Let's see. Maybe he did make all many plays, but we kind of just see because I know they go through like tackle, but I don't see too many. We can even just watch some pass plays and see how he plays in coverage if you want. So that's kind of more so. I don't care about punt.
Yeah,
That's more so
I'm
where I'm
really
kind of
intrigued to
interested to see
see.
in his coverage.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see Hanson in coverage, but then hopefully Neville Hewitt as the run stopper against the Colts. I'm just joking. Jake
Uh,
Hanson, he's just the whole defender. Need to see him
let's go
experience.
through. He came in. What drive did he come in? He came in this drive, so we can go through just kind of some of the
Okay.
past plays and see how he looks in coverage. So he is right here. That's him.
And Mike, you know, she's not going to be playing because we have these. I'll show you Neville Hewitt. Honestly,
Good
the same guy.
recognition
He
here,
just
at
look.
least. To
Yeah, I mean, he sees the little roll up. That's
Yeah,
not responsibility. He's just a smarter guy. And for the way he moves, he's not going to be the most fluid athlete ever, but he's definitely a swarm kind of guy. It was pretty good control and coverage. I like the way his hips were moving there. Obviously, nothing's coming to him, but he didn't drop like absurdly too deep.
yeah,
That was my big like. Oof, I want to say like Pamu, Henry To'oTo'o. Those guys were really victims of poor coverage because they would really just leave the underneath open all the time.
yeah. I can't tell you how many times
Denzel
Yeah,
Perryman
Perryman
actually.
did that
I had a
all the
big problem
time.
with
Yeah,
Perryman in coverage. It was just kind of
yeah,
a lack of awareness.
yeah. He's never been a good coverage guy. Like that's just not who he is. But he was brutal in coverage. All right, didn't he see when you posted about him? And then I remember
Yeah,
that. That was pretty funny.
well, he liked the tweet, so maybe he was like, "Shit, he got me, bro."
Let's see. I actually, you know what? I will say, just from watching this, I actually like Delshon Phillips a little bit. Like as a depth linebacker, he's not a guy that I mean, he kind of threw down that tight end. Damn. But I liked him. I like, yeah, and like you talk about, he's a great special teamer. So having him as a depth linebacker is nice for sure. I think this is a deep ball, but
Too. It's good contact, legal contact with Ford's young with Devin Singletary.
every
Pretty
time I
good.
see a 26 in the Giants, I just think it's Saquon. But I got to tell myself it's not Saquon. All right, goal line. I actually want to watch this one just because I think we went over it, but it was Kalen Bullock at the goal line, and I just love this play. The physicality, you got to love that. All right, let's try to I'm gonna try to stick to the other. Let's go to the Rams game because we've gone through a lot of that already. So let's go back to the Rams. Um, Hanson played the first couple drives in that, so we can go through that. Yeah, here we go. I really thought Lonnie was going to make the team. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I told you that, but I really did
Yeah,
think he was going to make it, and he
I mean,
didn't.
I just think that MJ Stewart's been on the roster for so long that I just feel comfortable with him. Same with Eric Murray.
Yeah,
Just especially like you said, guys that are playing with D'Amico that weren't already on the team before. It's impressive for them to still be on the team.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, especially a UDFA like Hanson, who's really not the most athletic guy, for him to be able to come in and stick on the roster is pretty impressive. We'll talk about that again. Good legal contact within five, I think. Yeah, it looks like it's within five. So good job by him.
And the Colts are going to do stuff like that too. They like to utilize their running backs in the passing game. Steichen's always going to have in his belt.
And this is where Chris Boyd made the team. Right here, he made one play, and they're
Yeah.
like, he's on the team.
He's
Made
playing
one
outside
defensive
corner,
play.
so
So this is where your guy Desmond King lost his job.
I'm convinced
Right
that Chris
here.
Boyd would be the yeah. It's a draw point. I'm not convinced that Chris Boyd would actually be the backup boundary corner if Akuda went down, but he can play outside corner.
Yeah, and Hanson overruns this, but I guess it could just be his gap. But you would like to see
Yeah.
him.
I'd rather him just bang into the shoulder and kind of hold his leverage a little bit. But also
Yeah,
he could be scraping, which is fine too.
let's see what happened.
He's a smart football player. You don't really see mental mistakes like Henry To'oTo'o made last year.
Yeah,
So Henry To'oTo'o was highly as a football IQ guy. So he has that going for him.
poor pride, baby, getting in there, making a play. He's a guy I want them to bring back on practice squad if they can. I liked him. Um, 4th and 1, McVay kicks the field goal. What a in preseason, that's a little bit of a strange move, but well, we'll move on. So here, this is kind of in this, it was somewhat of Stover playing some fullback too. So
Okay. Obviously, 8% multiple catches in the
yeah, he
Rams
did.
game, which is impressive. And the Texans now kind of have like a bunch of options for the third down back. And Texans never been a pass blocker, but he's still a guy you can use as an outlet. Like Greasy can use as an outlet. But
This
Brooks,
is
Dare, Pierce, blockers.
This is blocked really well, actually. I like
Yeah.
this is one of the best runs that they've blocked. Like Brocker does a good job. Stover, or that's Stover, that's bought in. They blocked this really well, and this is a good, obviously good cut by Akers.
Okay. Yeah. Over. Give it a going back in this game. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing there.
Just a lame play call. If I see
Yeah,
something like that in the regular season, Slovik's gonna hear it.
no,
But
that's
this game
the
is
match
over there.
you play.
Um,
And then this next ball is bad too because I remember like Hutchinson actually had some room. He just like threw it at his feet. Keenum didn't look all that great for sure.
On Stover, and why I think he's playing more football is because he's just not good at like reception. He's not a nuanced route runner.
Yeah.
So he doesn't sell this outside route at all. He's just staring at the sideline pretty much the entire time, and they're gonna know exactly where we're going when you do that.
This is a good job by Desmond King to pick up. He picks up the guy coming
Yeah,
across. I mean, this guy's open, but the pressure's there. So good job by him.
yeah. And realistically, if Jalen Petrie were to get hurt, they'll probably sign Desmond King.
Yeah, they'll bring him back. Yeah.
Just bring him back. They
I
might
mean, I
start
really
Miles
wouldn't be shocked
Bryant,
if they
but
signed him to practice squad still. So I haven't seen anything about it, but they may bring him back. Let's see what happens.
I really think the Texans try to
It's a good play by Bryant. It's in there, run
he
support.
makes a nice tackle here. I almost thought Desmond King was a good tackler too, but again,
Yeah.
and I think Miles Bryant's actually playing safety here. So
Yeah, yeah.
offering the
He
same
played a little bit of
versatility,
safety.
like Desmond King brings. So
Yeah, they probably just picked a younger guy. I think like Brian's been, he has some years left, and I think there's a little bit of versatility there too. So I think he actually returned a punt here too in this game.
he
So
did. Yeah. He returned the
yeah,
punt after King dropped the punt.
yeah,
I think someone was saying that like our punt
yeah.
returners are Sims and Takedown. That's for now.
Yep. Like you said, they did not
Pierce,
block all these all that well.
Pierce running a route though. Not
That's
much of
actually
a.
a pretty good. That's actually a good throw. And
He did a good job protecting Hutchinson though, because that's a cool shot.
yeah,
In the bench squad, I don't know if I thought it was bad. And that's why I really thought the bench squad would have been nice too. But again, British Brooks kind of stole the
yeah.
show.
British Brooks pretty much took his job. I mean,
He's just the ultimate utility guy now. Kind of seems like that. I hope we're not wrong about British Brooks. Yeah, but he just looks like he can do a little bit of everything. We don't need him to run routes.
now,
We just
see,
need him
if
to
this
be
is
athletic.
this is what we talk about with the receivers. If this is a regular season, this ball is thrown legit right here,
Yeah.
and it's a completion. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
difference of like the quarterback play because this ball's thrown or right even like right now. Stroud
I
throws
think even
this.
Mills makes them throw to Hutchinson too because Mills
Yeah,
has probably repped it more with Hutchinson than Keenan has.
yeah. I mean, this should be a completion. It's a good job sitting down by Hutchinson. This is a good route. I mean, it's just a bad throw.
Also, apparently, like Davis Mills had like a master class of a practice a couple days ago where he was just like dogging on guys. He threw like a 60-yard rollout touchdown pass. There's a clip of that. So,
Oh
damn.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Mills is a good backup. He's nice to have. People dislike him because of he's not. I don't. Nobody really claims he's a great starter, but people like to claim that people think he's a good starter when it's like five different people. So like
Yeah.
people like fall into that type of stuff when it's legit like the same three people that say it. So I don't know why people still
Look at that.
engage
And
in
look at
that
how he
stuff, but
stops his body right there. If we can
yeah,
go back
this is what we
to
talk about with Pierce, where like his cuts are just too slow sometimes because like it's very quick to
that's kind of
change
the
direction.
Nando step too. Like he it wasn't even like fast. He just really did a
Yeah.
good job of changing his moment. He put on the brakes, he went outside with a nice, clean cut, direct, no wasted movement. Didn't have to be super fast, and then he turned on the jets too. I agree. I don't think that Damian Pierce can do that quite yet.
No.
So, and that's exactly what you need from Akers. You're gonna get wide
And
zone carries
I will
like that
say
all the time.
I didn't have a problem with keeping Pierce on the roster as long as he it's another really good run.
And it's-
It's like, I don't care if it gets flagged. It's a good run.
yeah, I don't care.
Um, but Pierce is just a guy that, like I said, we use him on third downs. Like, please use him on third downs. Use him in pass pro. Get him the ball. Like, throw him the ball. That's the best way to get him. Have him have an impact on the roster and use him on special teams. Um, But yeah, I could care less if this gets flagged. So I mean, nothing here.
Great commercials because that's
Touchback.
about that gap is
No,
about 5 yards
I
to the
think
left and then up.
yeah. I don't. I think they call us on Hairston, which I don't know how this is a hold. To be honest with you, I don't really see
It's
where there's
good.
a hole
I feel
here.
like maybe they're not great. Hard to tell there for
Yeah,
the ref sometimes.
yeah. I
But
don't really
yeah,
see how that's a hold,
one, two,
but
three, cut, slow down. Very direct with his cuts. He knows he turns his hips to the where he's cutting too, so it's not going to be choppy. He's not going to cross over. He's very light on his feet too. Kind of like gives you a
yeah.
little. I don't even know what it's called.
He looks like he's like gliding when he runs
Yeah,
sometimes, where it's like
gliding.
just very yeah.
That's what I look
But
for running backs and receivers. You want to glide.
yeah, he almost and like we talked about, he almost looks like Arian Foster when he runs the ball with just the way that he's not fast, but he's just it
He's
works.
faster, and that was a good route too. I didn't really
Yeah,
mind that. Dude,
just bad
sorry.
ball. But if you can throw him the ball too out of the backfield, like they can get upfield, get you some yards here. It's just bad throw.
I'm also excited to see Mixon in this role too, because if
I am
Hooker's
too.
making these plays, I think Mixon can do
Nixon's
that.
definitely a guy that after week one we're gonna have to go through because we haven't
Yeah,
seen any of him. We'll definitely have to go through him.
good route to Hutchinson again. Hutchinson has really developed his route runner. It kind of reminds me of Nico Collins' development as a route runner. Nico was not a good route runner coming into the NFL, and Hutchinson just those are very direct cuts, good feet, quick feet. He kind of looks like a glider now too. It looks like his athletic
Yeah,
profile has improved
it
a
is
little
kind of
bit.
maybe they're just trying to get in field goal range, but it's kind of weird to me to run like curl routes when it's 3rd and 18, like short of the first down. But
Because the crosser should be like you mentioned, he should be like the 5 yard line. Hutchinson should be
yeah,
sticks.
yeah. Because if you really are
ETA.
trying to get in field goal range, just throw it to Hairston and just get like however many yards you can get there if he catches it.
People like, I mean, what's his face? Duke Johnson, he can make a first down out of that catch.
Yep.
Happens.
As we talk about, if that's British Brooks, maybe not a first down, but you're getting, you know, you give him that much open field, he's going to
He
make something
improves. He can
happen.
make a
So
man miss. He can run someone
yeah,
over. I mean, I like those flat routes on third and short. Sure, you give him that much space. I think Jim Hanson's in it too. He's flowing the running back. I like that. He knows he has help outside, so he's filling inside.
how about him?
It's great. A
Good job
little
by
bit
D'Angelo
earlier.
Ross too.
Yeah, I think this was the play that I liked from D'Angelo Ross.
Yeah.
Just not a coverage guy.
No, yeah.
I really don't understand how Troy Pride didn't make the roster. He just looks so confident and
Yeah.
comfortable out there.
I thought he was going to make it.
The guy is really fluid. He's keeping his eyes low, keeping his feet moving. That would have been an easy pick, which really didn't have to make the roster.
Yeah,
Shame
that's,
on
that's
you,
what
those
sucks.
coordinator.
It's just a out route.
Is
I've
that
already seen.
Thurston at receiver?
Yeah, he was a tight
Oh,
ender.
it's like
I
in the
mean,
tight slot.
it feels like going into the game they had the plan of just playing Brooks because no way they actually considered lining Hairston up at like tight end, right? Like they feel like
Yeah.
they were just trying to like they had to have known that they wanted to keep Brooks because only where it really makes
Like
sense.
Brooks package right there, Harrison.
I don't think there's too much to go over for this game just because not that many guys played. Any guys you want to watch in specific or
Terrific. I don't know, really did a good job of kind of looking at Cam Akers and Bruce Brooks,
yeah,
what kind of to expect from them during the regular season. I think that for now we just kind of gotta unfortunately watch the injury report, see who's signed on practice
yeah.
squad. 'Cause some guys might be brought up
I
for
actually
week one
can
game.
list. I made a list of the
Yeah,
guys that are on
let's go over
practice
that
squad right
one.
now.
Okay.
Unless they sign, let me see if they signed anybody since we started recording, which is definitely
I
possible.
think we have like I want to say 8 people in the practice squad already.
Let's see. They may not have signed anybody else, but let me just make sure. Okay. So for right now, the practice squad consists of, here we go. Solomon Bird, Marcus Harris, Cam Irving, Max Tooley, Troy Hairston, Zeke Turner, David Sharp, JJ Taylor, Killian Zier, and Johnny Johnson. That's your practice squad right now.
Yeah. Definitely missing some guys that we cut. That's for sure. That's the thing that stands out to me there. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Still plenty of
Yeah.
more spots in the practice squad. Marcus Harris might be getting offered a bag right now. You don't really know how that works. The practice squad, some stuff could always happen there. I guess technically Johar Jordan is like on injured
I think he
reserve.
technically is on the practice squad. They said if he clears, he reverts to practice squad. So I think
So
he
yeah,
technically is on the practice squad.
I'm going
You
practice
just haven't seen him
squad.
named.
Um,
Um, like
Ep.5
I
could
said,
get signed somewhere else too to be on a
yeah.
roster.
Like I said, I think um, they're going
Maybe
to
just
add a quarterback
Allie,
to that at some point, but they just haven't done it yet.
and then we also lost Allie to the
Yeah,
Titans.
that sucks.
53-man roster. Makes sense. It's a
He's
definitely a guy
athletic.
you want to super high upside.
Yeah, he has the athleticism, just doesn't have the pass rush moves yet. Um, all right. Anything else you want to add, or think we're good?
I think we're
Awesome.
good.
So next week, actually start not recapping. We get to preview the Colts game. Get to start with the season. Super excited for that. Probably not much film we'll go through in that one, but we get to pretty much go through different things we're expecting for that game. We can go through. Maybe we could even go through some old like mixing clips if you want, because we've been talking about him. We could go through Bengals mixing clips. Uh,
Yeah, just to like maybe my film review mixing that I did on the CC website.
we
I
could
just
do
kind of
that for sure.
yeah, we can do that for a couple other guys too that we signed because yeah, there's gonna be a lot of new players. Like I said, you may not know their names, but they are on the 53-man roster because the Texans believe in those guys. So I think that gonna look good for the Texans. I think that while they do have a lot of talented players, they have a lot of under the radar players too that they're going to be respected. They're going to get a lot of
Khalil
respect
Davis.
this season. Khalil Davis, Mario Edwards
There
already
you
made
go.
plays in the preseason. So looking forward to just kind of seeing the guys play. The Colts are a good team, but
Yep.
I think that my take for this game is that either going to be a blowout,
Yeah.
Texans win by a lot, or Colts win by a lot.
Yep. Like I said, so we'll preview that game next episode. We'll go through some mixing stuff. We can, maybe talk about some key players for the game, key Texans, and I think that's probably what we'll do. Maybe we can go through some of the Colts defense or something like that too. We go through some of that, but I
The
think that'll
Colts
pretty much.
roster and
Yep.
all that
We
stuff
can we
already.
can we can also. I mean, Richardson played like 12 snaps against us last year. We can go through those. We can go through Richardson against us last year, even though it was brutal. We can go through that. All right. I think that'll pretty much do it. Make sure y'all stay tuned for next episode. Definitely going to be an exciting one with the Colts season starting up and, well, not Colts season, but the Colts game starting. Definitely one that y'all want to stay for because that's going to be it's just awesome to have football. Awesome to have real
Who's back?
football that matters back. We got college football this weekend. I'm thrilled for that.
Me
Uh,
too.
just
Super
everything starting
nervous.
up.
Yeah.
Me too, but we got Notre Dame. So we got game day. Got game day though, so I'm excited for that.
Go Tigers.
But I think that'll pretty much do it. Like I said, make sure y'all subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode because I don't know about y'all, but we've been really enjoying making this series.
Super fun
Definitely
so
something
far.
that
Yeah.
for when the season comes, definitely something that we're gonna continue to pump out and get this content out. So see y'all next time.
Thank you guys.